Taiwan, I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The U.S. will send more of its aircraft carriers to the Western Pacific, Hong Kong's South China Morning Post reports. If true, it would be the first time for 5 of the U.S. Navy's 11 carrier groups to be deployed in the region at the same time. Citing analysts, the report says the move is in response to increased Chinese and North Korean military activity in the region and to show Washington's commitment to its Indo-Pacific partners. The number of undocumented migrant workers in Taiwan hit a record high in 2023, and that's triggering concern among labor rights groups. Tiffany Wong takes a closer look at why so many are leaving their employers.
Giving essential support to Taiwan's labor force, there are now over 750,000 migrant workers employed in the country, a record high. But another record is being set for the number of migrant workers who have gone missing. As of 2023, 86,000 migrant workers left their jobs without informing their employment brokers to avoid exorbitant fees and paying off debt, becoming undocumented.
都是因为找不到雇主，因为要付中介的那个买工费很高，大家就已经没工作，哪来的钱？
Migrant worker rights groups say that high broker fees and exploitative practices like illegally holding their passports can leave these workers even more vulnerable to harm. Over the past few years, migrant workers have been calling for an end to hiring through the broker system. In December, the government responded by creating a service center to streamline the employment process and said it will continue to vet broker agencies.
外国中介他没有担任选工的责任，导致有一些移工一进来入境都还没有到雇主处工作报道，他就失业了。引进移工如果失联比率达到规定的标准，我们就会暂时停权他，最短停权1周，那最长的话可以停权到4周。
But workers and advocates say this isn't enough, and as the government signs new labor agreements like the latest with India, that the government will have to do better to protect migrant workers sooner rather than later, to give these migrant workers a reason to continue to dream of a better life in Taiwan. Justin Wu and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
New government data shows Taiwan's landlords are raising rents to new highs. John Van Trieste looks at why the hikes are unlikely to stop soon.
20 square meters with a bedroom and bathroom, all for just $200 a month. It's such a steal that Ms. Jiang, a new member of Taiwan's workforce, commutes 3 hours a day rather than move.
房租的价格是一直不断在上升，然后变成我们其实如果想要去住靠近工作地点的房子，其实蛮困难，算是蛮困难的一件事情。这样，所以就是短时间内可能暂时不会考虑搬家，还是会选择通勤的方式。
Data backs up what many renters across Taiwan, people like Ms. Jiang, suspect. Since August, the average cost of rent has increased over 2% every month year on year. The rent index gathered by the Government Statistics Office is now at a record high. Real estate market analysts say the rise in rents isn't a coincidence.
目前看起来呢，租金上扬应该会持续高居2%以上了，因为未来的持有税只会增加，不会减少。再加上说，今年因为经济展望比较好的关系，央行的降息几率比较低，所以呢，房东的资金成本也降不下来。
Buying is out of reach for many. Taiwan has some of the world's highest real estate prices relative to wages. In Taipei, an apartment costs almost as much as it would in New York or London, meaning when landlords hike rents, tenants have to grin and bear it. Rent subsidies exist, but getting help can be risky. Some estimates say 70 to 90% of Taiwan's apartments are rented out under the table. Applying for a subsidy would expose these untaxed landlords and put renters at risk of retribution. Housing rights advocates say this black market should be the government's first target in tackling rent prices.
这个部分对房客来讲，无论是租金补贴或者是租金扣抵所得税，这个部分会变成是一个看得到吃不到的一个政策。
But this black market is both long-standing and entrenched, meaning that without political will for change, the burdens renters face will only grow heavier. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has the highest rate of blood donations in the world, but hospitals are still seeing shortages. Harel Hughes reports.
A short line, quick pinch, and a little squeeze. This blood drive event in Taiwan is popular among donors, because after giving blood, they receive a whole duck. Taiwan is the highest rate of blood donations in the world. And events like these, with special giveaways, are a big contributing factor. But Taiwan's hospitals are still facing blood shortages, due in part to Taiwan's aging population.
65岁以前捐血小板可以2个礼拜捐一次，那65岁以后，就只能4个礼拜才能捐一次的。
Another problem is the rate at which supplies here are depleted. Hospitals transfuse up to 4 times more blood than hospitals in the US. And with Taiwan's population rapidly aging out of blood donating age, health experts are worried. They say all these problems will be compounded by 2027.
捐血我们有年龄的限制嘛，是7岁到65岁。那我们这些中层的捐血人啦，其实到了65岁，可能他就没有办法再捐。20年前，我们大概小于20岁的人可以捐到35万人次，那今年大概只剩下10万。
Taiwan's government is working to address the shortage for the long term. But in the meantime, blood drives with special incentives will have to carry the weight. Andy Shui and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
2 lantern festivals kicked off over the weekend, lighting up the skies of northern Taiwan with hundreds of light decorations. Our reporter Philip Broussard has the story.
Hundreds of lanterns rise into the night sky. This is the Pingxi Lantern Festival, a modern take on a centuries-old tradition that attracts huge crowds to the small mountain community in New Taipei City.
去年就有来过。
去年来了，今年又来的原因是什么？
因为去年来觉得蛮感动的，就一口气100个天灯同时释放上去。
对，第一次。心情怎么样？心情觉得很兴奋。怎么说？新年快乐，觉得很开心啊！而且看了那个天灯都飞上去，很感动。
The festival was held over last weekend. Of all the lanterns this year, the spotlight was on 4 in particular, and they were hard to miss. Sky lantern expert Hu Min-shu designed the lanterns, with one each representing Taiwan, the world, a dragon, and a tiger. The new Taipei mayor says together they symbolize that all is well with Taiwan and the world. This year was the first time such large lanterns were released.
造价高是不要紧，最主要是高难度。这高难度，因为我们做这个跟做一般那个灯会那个不一样。我们这个是要能飞的，而且要飞要稳定性要够。
The lanterns did fly, but not so steadily. 2 of the lanterns collided in the air, with one bursting into flames and falling from the sky. There were no reports of injuries or damage, but similar past events have raised safety concerns. People also question the environmental impact from the lanterns landing in the surrounding mountains. Taipei City also kicked off its Lantern Festival over the weekend. In a bid to be more eco-friendly, the festival made its main 10-meter-tall dragon lantern out of parts of last year's centerpiece. The Lantern Festival is a major event in Taiwan, marking the end of the Lunar New Year festivities. And with celebrations continuing into next weekend, there's still time to see it for yourself. Yisun Chen, Sandy Chi, and Philip Broussard for TaiwanPlus.
A species of migratory bird has made a rare winter stop-off in northern Taiwan. It's been 15 years since the country last saw a black and yellow Ruddy Shellduck pass through. Taiwan isn't on the usual flight path for this bird, which is found across Europe and mainland Asia. The Shelduck was spotted by a creek near Taoyuan International Airport, where many other migratory birds overwinter. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, check out this footage of a parade in Paris celebrating the new year of the dragon. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.